Hi, I'm Mindy from Close to My Heart. On today's episode of Artbooking Made Easy, we're going to be exploring the shapes and titles on the travel mini album keys found on pages 38 and 39 of the Artbooking booklet. So looking at these keys, you can see that there are half pages, full pages, overlays, and titles that are very travel centered. But there are other elements such as this overlay and the hello sentiment that don't have much to do with travel and you could use for any of your projects. I'm going to show you a couple examples of both. So let me show you this craft mini album. This is a good example of the 8x8 inch that the keys are designed to create. Here you can see that all the cutouts I'm going to show you are cut at the recommended 8-inch size. So here we have these little pinwheels that can be used just as shapes. You could use them as a sun cutout, an orange slice, whatever you want. Let's take a look at some of these pages on the inside. You can see the Just Be title, our little half page here, and the overlay that has the airplanes and the clouds on them. Obviously a travel themed cutout. I've also used some of the journaling cards from the My Crush assortment just to give me a little extra room for journaling. Now here I've taken the cutouts from the overlay and used them on their own here, which is a nice way to not waste any of your cutouts from the overlay. I also tied the little half page with this cute topiary mini chevron ribbon, as well as used that to bind the book together. So you can see also we have this fun arrow from the cutouts, as well as this Explore title. Now one of my favorite elements is this date title. It's really simple, but I think it adds a lot to the album. All I've done is cut it out in the craft cardstock and then laid it on top of white daisy. And it gives it that nice pop, so we can add the date here. I also love this fun border on the side. So you can see this is a great example of just a really basic mini album that you can create using these keys. So this album has a really overt travel theme, but you can use these cutouts for projects that don't have a travel theme. For example, this card. You can see it's just a nice friendship card. Doesn't have anything to do with travel, but it uses a lot of the same elements that are found in the craft mini album. For example, this overlay was cut at the recommended 8-inch size. For my card, however, I've scaled it down to 3.5 inches real dial size. Then all I've done is backed it with the neutral cardstock so that it fits nicely on my card. I've done the same for these two borders. These are cut at the recommended 8-inch size, but these ones I've cut at a 1/2 inch real dial size so that they fit on my card. You can see the result is just a nice friendship card that has nothing to do with travel. Now, I've shown you a really basic mini album and a card that you can create using these keys, but if you have tons of photos, more journaling, and lots of keepsakes that you want to include, it's totally fine to go for this more layered, eclectic, colorful look. I'm going to show you a little bit of this album, but first, let's take a look at the cover. You can see that I've cut this overlay using ruby cardstock, but it doesn't have the cutouts that we've seen in the other album. This is what the overlay looks like as intended on the keys. However, you can use Cricut Craft Room and use the Hide Contour feature to eliminate the shapes in the middle. That way, you're just left with this cute border around the edge. Then all I've done here is used a stamp set to stamp my clouds in the background. Kind of gives it a different look, but still has that element of fun with the border here. So you can see how by just adding more layers, choosing a more distinctive color scheme, and using lots of embellishments can just take your project up a notch. Let me just show you some of here. Again, all of these shapes are cut out from the same travel mini album keys, but here they're not used at the linked 8-inch size. You can always use the real dial size to size them to whatever size you want. So here we see the arrow again, the airplanes. We see some stamp feature, but also the overlays. Again, the overlay from the front cover, just as it was intended, with some arrows. And here we have the clouds and the airplanes again from the overlay, just cut at a larger size, like I said. Another fun thing about this album is the little pockets you can use to include some of your keepsakes from your trip. As always, you can visit our blog for details, techniques, and more craft inspirations. I hope that something you've seen today has given you inspiration for your own projects. You can use the travel mini album keys to scrapbook all your favorite getaways, but with a little imagination, they can work for just about anything. Thanks for watching this episode of Artbooking Made Easy. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, and keep checking our blog for more ideas. If you would like to purchase the Artbooking cartridge, contact your Close to My Heart independent consultant or go to closetomyheart.com.